Manifestation is a continual process that happens all day, every day. You literally cannot stop manifesting the way your life unfolds. So why is it that sometimes we intend to manifest a certain outcome in our lives, but end up experiencing the opposite of it? You're probably doing a great job at correctly putting out the intention for what you want. But when it seems as though your manifestation efforts aren't working, you're also likely putting out the intention to continue manifesting what you don't want, although probably not deliberately. This can still work in your favor, it's just a much slower process. And because this type of intention setting seems so slow, most people will give up long before they see any results in their physical reality. By default, they'll go back to thinking about what they don't want and erase any progress they've made. Your intentions aren't just the things that you announce out loud that you want to create in your life. The things we think about, observe, and focus on can all be considered intentions as well. And even when we're hugely motivated to create something in our lives, we still observe and notice our current circumstances because they appear to be more real than anything else. This is the biggest hurdle for most people when it comes to using the law of attraction to intentionally create something. You probably know that all of your thoughts are creative. Every one of your thoughts is an intention to some degree or another. Your thoughts also include your perceptions and observations. Observation is actually active creation. In other words, what you observe in each moment is not just the witnessing of something, it is the creation of something in that moment. You may also know that only the present moment is real. When we remember something from the past, we are creating it in the present moment. And when we think of something we'd like to create in the future, we are also creating it in the present moment. All of your power is in the present moment, because to remember or to imagine is to think, and to think is to intend. The next point to be made is that you cannot uncreate what you've already created. Once something has manifested in your reality, it is a part of your field of perception. It's no longer just potential. You've made it real, and now it's in your awareness. And the simple act of observing it will continue creating it. You can't uncreate it by denying it. You can only shift your field of perception or observation to experience something new. So how are you supposed to focus on what you want when your current reality is giving you evidence of something different, and even the evidence is enough to throw off your positive intentions? The first step to creating a new reality is the acceptance of everything you've created so far. Even if you don't see how you've attracted something into your life, it really doesn't matter. Acknowledge that it is what it is, and accept your current situation even if you don't particularly like it. Next, because it's nearly impossible to focus all of your attention on a new reality without thinking about the current one at some point or another, you'll want to change the meaning you give to the current situation you're in. Most all of our observations will generally fall into one of three categories: positive, negative, or neutral. It's perfectly acceptable to acknowledge that your current situation is not something you want to continue experiencing. But while you're observing your situation, you're always expecting one of three things to happen. Number 1, the situation is improving. Number 2, the situation is declining. Or number 3, the situation is stable. This expectation may be on a subconscious level most of the time, but it's always there in some form. And this expectation is often the deciding factor in how long it takes you to make the shift from your current reality to the reality you prefer. Because you most likely want your situation to improve, shifting your observation to an expectation of this situation is improving makes the most sense. Here's how to do it. Start by actively searching for any reasonable excuse that gives you an indication that things in your current reality are improving in the direction of your intentions, and focus on that. It's as simple as asking yourself, what's good about this? and stay with that question until your mind begins to present you with some answers. In other words, you're going to accept where you are while still imagining it getting better and better. You maintain your current intentions for the reality of your choosing while finding ways to see your current reality as improving. And it's really that simple. Creation begins as an internal game, and your attitude in your present moment is absolutely critical. If you spend time focusing on your positive intentions, but you also observe your present situation as either neutral or negative, you're making the manifestation process work in a much slower way for you. However, when you look for and find reasons that your current situation is improving, you begin to observe your reality, even if it conflicts with what you really want in the current moment, without canceling out your positive intentions for the new reality. This not only makes the manifestation process go more smoothly, but it keeps you in alignment and makes it a much faster way to manifest.